It's very important to start teaching your puppy its name as soon as you get it home. In this lesson, I'm going to teach you how to teach your puppy its name using the name game. You want to start teaching your puppy its name because it is one way to get your puppy under control and to keep your puppy engaged with you if they want to check out of the training or check out of being in the moment and they want to go off and go potty somewhere or start chewing on something. Calling them by their name and having them come back to you is a great way to keep them in a tight space and keep control of their space. The name game is very easy. You're going to need a clicker and some training rewards. You're going to say the puppy's name. When they turn to look at you, you mark the behavior and you give the food reward. I'm going to show you with my dog Dixie how to do the name game. Then I'm going to show you a video I did with one of my clients' dogs and how I had to change the pitch and tone of my voice to match the puppy's responsiveness. Sometimes if we're not using the right pitch, if the puppy responds best to a low pitch and we're using a high pitch, they may not respond. If they like a high-pitched voice and we have a low voice like this, they also may not respond. So you want to find the right tone, the right pitch for your puppy, and that's going to take a little bit of practice. But I'm going to show you how to do it in one of the videos that I'm going to have at the end of this lesson. One thing to remember when teaching your puppy its name is that you don't need to say your puppy's name all the time. I go over to a lot of clients' homes and I hear this: Dixie sit, Dixie down, Dixie stay, Dixie come, Dixie leave it, Dixie drop it, Dixie sit, Dixie come, Dixie down. They say the name before every command, and you do not have to do that. Saying the puppy's name is to get the puppy to focus on you and or come to you. The only time you would have to say the puppy's name or the dog's name before a command is if there's more than one dog present, and you only want to give that command to that particular dog. You don't need to say the puppy's name all the time when they're excited, because that's just going to reinforce that excited behavior. You definitely don't want to say the puppy's name when they're play biting or jumping on you or doing something like pulling on the leash when you don't want them to. That, again, is just going to enforce the puppy's behavior. Saying the puppy's name is going to get them more excited and more hyper than you may imagine. So reduce how you say the puppy's name and when you say the puppy's name, and use it just to get the puppy to focus and come back to you, or they're just going to get desensitized to their name and check out because it doesn't mean anything to them. The puppy's name has to have meaning, and you want the puppy to respond to their name every time you use it. I'm going to play the name game now with Dixie. I'm going to distract her. I'm going to call her name. When she looks at me, I'm going to click to mark the behavior and give her a food reward. Be sure to say the name only once. Dixie. Dixie. 2 repetitions. Good. Now I'm going to remove the clicker and just use the word yes as the marker. Dixie. Yes, good girl. That's very good. Make sure that when you do this with your puppy, you have a little distraction, not too many distractions, a minor distraction, and then you're going to say the name. When they look at you, you mark the behavior and give the food reward. You're going to do this hundreds of times for them to really get to know their name. And remember to only say the name once. You don't want to be repeating the name. Dixie, 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 Dixie. That's just going to confuse them and get them overstimulated. I'm going to call her name in a low tone. Bonnie. Good. Come get it. So she responds to the low tone. Now watch. Bonnie. She looked at me, so I mark that with the clicker, and then I feed her. Now watch, if I use a high tone, Bonnie. Well, she responded to that too, but you saw she did respond to the lower tone better. Watch. Bonnie. Right away she looks at me when that tone comes out. Let's try it again. Bonnie. Good girl. Now you call her.
Bonnie.
Good girl. She looked over and I mark it and reward her. That's how you teach a name. You call her name with different tones, because everybody in the house has a different tone. Bonnie. I'll go right in the middle now. Middle tone. Bonnie. Nothing. Bonnie. Good girl. The low tone she responds to right away. You got to find out what that is and kind of use that to teach her her name and then mark it and feed her. Okay? That's how you teach a dog the name. Good girl. So we distract her. Bonnie. Good girl.